Good evening and welcome to Saturday night footy from the SCG. It is 5th placed Sydney against 9th placed St Kilda. I'm Jason Dunsell, joined by Brownlow medalist and 3 times Sydney Swans best and fairest, Jared Healy. We know the Swans are going well with the Saints. They need to put their hand up tonight, Jared.
They do, Jason. We have got some late omissions. We'll get to those shortly. But there is greater incentive now for the Saints because the Fremantle Dockers overcame the Kangaroos today. So the Saints are just 2 points outside of the 8. Everett's out for the Swans. In comes Craig Bird, Cozzy and Ferguson out, and Charlie Gardner and McQualter are the late inclusions for the Saints.
And fair to say there are going to be some big matchups all over the ground. None bigger than Bolton on Revolt.
Yes, we saw Nick Riewoldt at the start just warming up. Well, he hit the ball better than Tiger Woods did this morning. He's in good form in practice. Can he take it out onto the match? That's what they need. The captain, Kirk, well, he'll want to lift for Paul Roos. It's his 500th game. He'll want to put out a great performance. But Luke Ball also in magnificent form. It's Del Sano and Montagna that need to get some footy and give them some supply in forward.
Absolutely. Great to see the veteran Robert Harvey back into the lineup, recovering from that calf strain. And Michael Gardner, a big role for him in the ruck tonight as well.
Yes, he's got to go get some ball around the ground. At this ground, you just need to have as many on-ballers getting plenty of touches throughout. Of course, Mickey O'Loughlin in magnificent form up forward. Barry Hall, well, I think the Saints will remember back to round 1 when it was Hudson that took him out, and I think Sam Fisher would be one player that would be well suited to go to Mick O'Loughlin.
Plenty of run on the bench for the Swans. Buchanan, Ablett and Bird. The one extra tall there in Lewis Roberts-Thompson. You mentioned Paul Roos, his 500th AFL match.
He's made a great contribution to footy, and this club in particular. The chairman was one who said that he would at some stage make a contribution to this club like Barassi of Carlton back in those eras. Well, I think he's been proven absolutely correct. But here he is, Barry Hall, returning from the 7-game suspension. He may even get a roll up in the middle at some stage, Jason, because the Swans have been kicking slightly more goals collectively with more options up there than when Barry was the main target.
Plenty of eyes on Barry. Plenty of eyes on this bloke as well, Jared. Dare we say it? Lucky to be playing, Adam Goods.
I think that's probably fair enough. Even Paul Roos admitted during the week he thought he was relatively lucky to be playing. The tribunal assessed this as low impact. Now, most people viewed it as medium impact, and if that had been the case, he would not have been here tonight. But he takes the good with the bad, and today, this time, he gets the good.
You mentioned the late...
And it was the Saints who won that one by 2 points. Umpires Matthew James, Chris Camelins and Michael Avon, and we are underway at the Sydney Cricket Ground, and a free kick immediately.
Well, it's a fantastic bounce. It went about 35 feet in the air, and it's not surprising because it is very hard out in the middle of the ground. A good start and a takeaway by Adam Goods.
Yeah, gave it to Matner, whose kick was a little strange. Went sideways, and Kirk also faked to go one way, went the other. And kicks it wide. Henry Playfair, Gwilt for the Saints. And ball just travelled across the line. We'll get a ball in. And now Hudson. It's tough for Revolt. It's half meant for him. Charlie Gardner thumps it long. Milne and Revolt feeding back. Revolt, brilliant! Kicks the goal! And breaks the drought. King. Bird. Jude Bolton, but no one home. Barry Hall not there, of course.
Jeez, the bounce was rude.
Gilbert and Fisher left it for each other. O'Keefe,
it's a good tackle.
Magnificent tackle. O'Loughlin with some strength caught, gets it up. O'Keefe deserved that. Swans back in front. And that's a high bomb. Del Santo's down there. Gardner! Almost.
Ooh.
Not quite. Del Santo kicks around the body, bounces toward goal. Did it get touched? Not by the look of the goal umpire. Saints back in front. Plays on, but no one really to go to by foot. Just to maintain possession. Bolton back. Malcheski.
And this is
now Lewis Roberts-Thompson.
You would think that Ross Lyon has a good understanding of the way Sydney like to move the ball out of defence, and they seem to be reading the play very well, the Saints players, and really make it difficult for them.
Goods took a couple of those last week as well. That was a nice one to Hall. Back on, good movement. Being called back to the goal square, goes short. And the man who won the game with his kick at goal last week, Jude Bolton, doesn't line up, goes to O'Loughlin.
Good body.
How good was that?
Brilliant use of the body. Jason, this is almost a replica of the way you kicked about 600 of your 1,200 goals. Use of the body and the shot out to the fat side of the ground.
Yeah, it was terrific working. Look, I was talking about how well St Kilda had actually plugged up the gaps, but it gets broken open by an individual piece of play by Adam Goods. But he just propped. The ball was going, so he was going to get there too early, and he didn't want to get caught on the ball, so he propped, allowed Fisher to bump into him, and that put him back where he needed to be to take the mark and took Fisher out of play.
I think where it broke down was Lewis Roberts-Thompson was able to get on his own, which meant that Blake had to leave Goods to cover him, so the ruckman need to be more accountable.
Jones shoots the handball in the revolt direction. Craig Bolton falls. It's the hand out. Kennelly, they get out of trouble again. Kirk. McVeigh. They want to use the corridor. Ablett. Danger. Out of trouble. Malcheski. Goods. 1 minute and a chance to score. Slides the pass to Barry Hall.
You can write that all the way back to Craig Bolton. That's why he's an all-Australian defender. He spoils Riewoldt. He comes from a defensive area where he was disadvantaged. He went to ground, he got back up, and he made a 2-on-1, which turned the footy around.
The big issue there, though, Jared, rotations. And we're seeing the good work there from Bob, but rotations. Nick Del Santo, who was next to Adam Goods, decided to come off as the ball was coming out of defence. Right. Who gets it? Adam Goods in the middle of the ground delivers the ball forward.
Will this be his first in his comeback game? From the paint of the 50. All rise at the SCG. Barry's back. And now Fisher can run. Revolt's in a one-on-one up forward in his direction. Got it. 53 from goal. Maybe too far out to score. Knows it, so hits Blake.
See what he's doing a good job, Blake, of running Goods the other way.
Gardner.
And there's a man that just missed his last shot for goal. Passing off from 30 metres. But he's found Gardner in the corridor, so on a slightly better angle. But it is very important that Jason Blake, at every opportunity, makes sure that Adam Goods knows he can't just run one way. He's got to work both ways.
And once again, it highlights just how critical kicking is. Adam Goods had an opportunity to hit a teammate or hit it to goal, but he did neither, and he actually pushed it into space.
Charlie Gardner not part of the initial 25. Late inclusion, kicks the important goal. Scores a level. Had a couple of other options on their emergencies list, including Shane Burse and Aaron Fiora. Elected to go Charlie Gardner instead tonight. The Saints hierarchy. Saints get a break there. The Swans were away, but it comes back to McVeigh for a hold against Del Santo, according to the umpire. Henry Playfair, James Quilt. Playfair, very good to Kirk. 52 from goal, Adam Goods.
This is unbelievable. There was a change of responsibility in the middle of the ground. Blake went onto the mark and he let Robert Harvey go with Goods, and then
Del Santo went with, yeah.
Okay, then he handballed it over to Fisher. And Goods was just too committed to find this footy, and in the finish he snuck away. I mean, Sam Fisher was there, he did the right thing by his teammates, followed the responsibility. But Goods ran 120-odd, 30-odd metres just to push forward and get a shot.
Lucky to be playing this week after his hit last week on Adam Selwood. Adam Goods gives the Swans back the lead.
There were a free kick would have gone the other way.
Madden to Jack.
Right, a good breakaway here by Ty Kennelly. This will set up because O'Keefe's on his own and he'll be off.
So Kennelly to O'Keefe, and he's got some space to work with. Looks for O'Loughlin and Hall. They were both there. O'Loughlin spins out of trouble. Kirk McVeigh, play of the night. Sensational to watch.
That was one of the best passages of play of the year. That it was absolutely superb, the way they set up the Swans and got the man across on the other side of the ground, Ty Kennelly, loose, and then the disposal. But it all could have come unglued if Mickey O'Loughlin wasn't in the form he was in. Have a look at this one.
Ty Kennelly gets it after dropping the ball, isn't it?
Yeah.
Second effort.
Here it is. O'Loughlin on the end of this one. Just snatched it out of the hands of Hayes.
Finished off by Jared McVeigh, who's having a very accurate year. 16 goals, 4. And he was the man that Paul Roos allegedly joked with during that NAB Cup match earlier this year. Don't kick a goal, because he was so inaccurate with his kicking last year. We'll hand off to Goods. It was from Jack, and now Ablett. High kick, 2-on-2. Barry Hall just threw Hudson out of the way.
That's the old-fashioned ragdoll. That's just way too strong, too big. He certainly carries a bit of a weight advantage over Maxie Hudson. Hudson's a terrific defender, but he got caught off balance. And as soon as Hall propped and stood his ground, he just threw him aside.
Well, Hudson kept Hall to 1 goal when he was on him in round 1. Barry Hall now has 2 goals for the night. Hand up from Bevan. Leo Barry, they're away again. Jude Bolton. He's got Buchanan out wide. Goddard's with him this time, and he takes him out. Good move that, because Henry Playfair was waiting for it. Shoots it back inside. Kieran Jack can line up. Centering kick instead. King was down there, couldn't mark. Hudson to King. Just tries to kick it out of the area. Buchanan flies. Can't mark. Jack threads its way through traffic. Hayes falls over, was tripped, slip, take your pick.
Throw.
It's about 4 frees there. None paid. O'Keefe to finish it off in style. It was ugly and finished beautifully.
Well, I don't mind that. I think he's thrown it right around. Montagne's down there in the back pocket. So they're not getting kicks in the middle. They may as well have a crack elsewhere.
From the ball up to start the half. Goods. Barry Hill, it was nearly out of the playbook.
This is good. Get off the half-back line and create.
Hudson Del Santo revolt. That was out of the playbook. Oh, play on. Looked to have held it long enough, but things not going Revolt's way at the moment. Bolton to Bevan. Kennelly and Matner. Central kick dangerous. Cut off. Graham is away. Lee comes. Gardner's on the move, and he's got it.
Well, that's one of the other moves you wanted to see, Jared, was one of the big blokes. Get the 2 ruckmen out the ground at the time. Stephen King in the ruck. Michael Gardner coming out of the shed. Great anticipation from Jason Graham. And the key to that passage of play was he played on. He took the initiative. He made something happen.
It's not kick 1 for the Saints. First goal of the year coming up as it bends back. And it's there. Perfect start, Saints. Jolly with the palm down, but Goddard to Graham. And now Gardner again, although it's wide. And Barry thumps it away from Gilbert. Jones swoops on it in the pocket. Handballs back. McWalter, disciplined kick. The 2 Gardners are down there. And Charlie runs in and kicks the goal. It's raining goals for the Gardners.
Okay.
Fisher. Revolt and Jones almost collide. Craig Bolton went up, Bird crumbed it but left it behind. Leo Barry, as he so often has done, through traffic with style. The 1-2 with LRT. Now Malcheski. He slips the handball inboard. Bevan, he's got O'Keefe. That shoulder's fine now. Nothing wrong with it. He kicks his 3rd. Harvey short to the middle. Dempster.
Good open space up forward.
High kick to the square. Charlie Gardner held. Yeah. It's a free to the Saints.
Well, he's the one that has looked likely now. This will be his 2nd goal of the quarter.
He was held, it appeared, on the line of the goal square, but he's been given the free outside the goal square, so he will be on an angle. How did you see that hold is inside the square?
Yeah, I guess it is, but he's not going to make any mistake from there. He's hit.
He's made the goal up by doing some work. He's kicked the goal. He's got 3. Scrow. Gardner down to Ablett though. And more inside 50. Del Santo, who's just been singing his praises, just got caught on the wrong side.
And look, that's one of the things I raised, Jared. It's great to have running half-backs, but you've still got to have the ability to compete defensively. And Nick Del Santo wouldn't have found himself in this position too often, I'd suggest.
Great sharking there at the ruckwork. If you're dealing hit-outs to advantage, the Saints have had 7 and the Swans have had just the 1 at the moment, but they're sharking the ball really well, Sydney.
Jared Moore kicks the goal. Shooted. Jared Moore coasted Haileybury by three-time Brownlow medalist Bobby Skilton. One of the best of all time. Ball. Tries to thread the handball out. Schneider. Nicely. And to the open side to Hayes. Just needs to hit a target. And does to Goddard.
This is better. They need Goddard in a position where he can kick goals. And they've found some space for him. Once again, they had Charlie Gardner, one out in the square with Matner. And it's a position, I think, that would be concerning Paul Roos at the moment.
Well, he's moved Leo Barry back there onto him.
One of the 2 goals this year, Brendan Goddard. 2 goals, 2. Straight over the goal umpire's hat. Game 100 might be a winner for him yet. But Revolt, Dempster, Hayes forced to go back to Goddard. Revolt about to kick it to where he'd like to be. Fisher gets back and Charlie Gardner flies. Takes the pack with him. Schneider, well, he knows where they are here. Just needs to finish. Misses.
No, he's got it.
He's got it. He's edged it in. Rowan Smith.
Jared, you just mentioned Craig Bolton coming to the bench. None of the physios or doctors went to talk to him, so he's just having a little bit of a rest. But Ty Kennelly just came to the bench grimacing. He's just getting his right groin rubbed at the moment, so just keep an eye on him, boys.
Hamlet towards O'Keefe.
What about the ball movement? 2 kicks and all of a sudden the pressure now back on the Saints.
And that's another case of a midfielder in Montagna trying to be a defender.
Goods. Sorry, Jason.
That's no.
Just that he had his name written on it.
You can see it coming a long way. And look at the man who flew with Adam Goods then. Stephen Milne. We just saw Montagna outmarked by Ryan O'Keefe. And then as O'Keefe delivers the ball in fact, it's Geary that's trying to go up with him, and he's just giving away too much size.
Well, everybody else has missed for the Swans this quarter. They
all miss right, except for Playfair.
It's kicked 1 goal, 2 tonight. Adam Goods.
Spot on.
2 goal, 2 in the shadows of three-quarter time.
You think?
Oh, I don't think there was much in that at all.
No, there would have been a lot in it had he injured himself. McVeigh. Bouncing ball. Richards to Jude Bolton. Hands up. Goods. Left it for more. Caught by Quilt. Shrugs him. The cannonball. Straight through. Barry Hall. He tries to maul his way through them. Seconds tick. Snap comes. Goal kick. Just too good. Bird slotted it with 41 seconds left.
And that just about, I reckon, puts paid to the St Kilda hopes of a comeback. That was sheer persistence. The Saints tackling was brilliant there. They chased down one after another after another. 4 of them had to come in and take down Barry Hall, and unfortunately that meant there were Sydney players standing around. The ball comes to the back of the contest and Bird snaps truly. It's great work by Sydney. Probably a shame from a St Kilda perspective. We were hoping we might get a close game, but Sydney, when they needed to, find a way to kick a couple of goals.
And that little effort of Barry Hall's, that's why the Waratahs would like to get hold of him.
Pity none of the Saints could get hold of him there. Just the final seconds being eaten up. There's still a chance to get another one. Kirk. Bouncing ball, and it bounces kindly for Moore.
No,
tackled him.
Backspin from Kirky.
Roberts Thompson. Kirk. Pops it up. A one-on-one. Milne and Buchanan.
Ooh. Geez, he's had an important 5 minutes over Buchanan.
And again, I've said it a few times, Stephen Milne uncomfortable in the defensive role.
Kirk hacks it to full forward. O'Loughlin, and they can wrap up the win almost in the last 1.5 minutes to three-quarter time on the siren.
All she wrote.
They say timing is everything. Michael O'Loughlin had it then, as he has his entire career. The Saints back on the ropes at three-quarter time after we thought they were back in it. Sydney Swans 12-16, 88. St Kilda 8-9, 57. Back with the final term after this. Spot. Richards. Leo Barry. Richards to Bevan. O'Loughlin gets a one-on-one and marks it.
He loves those, Mickey O'Loughlin. He just initiates body contact, a little bump, guards the metre space beside him, this time to his left, and swallows it. It's a dangerous kick into the forward line.
Oh. Well, umpire did some work, but Mickey O has 3. Little bump on Playfair was enough. Handball out in the Hudson direction. Barry Hall hunting him down. Gilbert. Plenty of room to move. Hayes. And now Milne, who we've seen very little of.
Well, he spent some time down back, didn't look particularly comfortable down there, and this is the sort of contribution they needed from him early in the game, though. He could not get near the football. He's got to be a leading player. He can't always be looking to do the miracle thing around the packs. You know, just you're not always going to be able to run at full pace and rove one cleanly off the pack. Sometimes he's got to present, and get a regulation goal.
Possession number 6 for the night. Stephen Milne kicks his first goal of the night. It's
Just for the game.
Just for the game. Black doesn't mean you're dead. It just means he's gone for the game.
Is that enough black marks next to his name for his career, Jason? Didn't need another one. Kennelly. Barry Hall, speaking of black marks against his name that have been erased. Barry Hall's been spectacular again tonight in terms of his behaviour, and he's about to line up from just outside the 50 for goal number 3.
10 marks, Jared. This will be his 12th kick. No hand passes. Kicked 2 goals too. You'd have to rate that a pretty successful.
Oh, but very good. He could have kicked 6. Only accuracy's robbed him of a big haul.
And Big Hall. Big mark on the line for Jolly. The Jolly Giant. That was massive. He could have let it go, of course.
No, he couldn't. That would be silly.
Trying to work out who the St Kilda ruckman is at the time.
And a jolly smile. While Fisher. Revolt might get one last jump at it. And in Paul Roos' 500th game as a player and a coach, the team that's played in 2 of the last 3 AFL Grand Finals. It's been a dominant force in the competition. He's back in the reckoning this year. Another emphatic victory at home for the Sydney Swans. 14-18.